Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Runestone. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be doing the top 10 arrow. So now at number 10. And the first one down on our list is going to be Leaf Arrow from Rise of Eldrazi. It's a common just going for a whopping 5 cents on the market. If an opponent has flying creatures, this one's actually kind of good because it only costs 1 mana to do 3 damage to target creature with flying. Outside of that, this card is not helpful or good at all. But now at number 9. And the next card on our list is Infused Arrows from Fifth Dawn. It's an uncommon going for 11 cents on the market, which I'm surprised because it should be a lot less. Costs 4 mana, not even 5 because it has Sunburst. It says comes in play with a charge counter for each color of mana used to pay for its cost. So it's already limiting on what you can do with that. Then it says remove X charge counters from Infused Arrows. Target creature gets minus X until end of turn, which is kind of cool. That's the only reason why it's even on this list because of that ability. But it has Sunburst, which is sadly only you can use 4. So now at number 8. We have Arrows of Justice from Gatecrash. It's an uncommon going for a whopping 7 cents on the market. Costs 3 mana, but it does have that. It deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. It is quite expensive, I believe, but at least it has that red or white for choosing on what you want to use for the color to use this card, and therefore that's why it deserves to be on the list. So let's move on to number 7. Well, we got Pathway Arrows from Battle for Zendikar. It's an uncommon going for 11 cents on the market. It's moving up in price value. This one has equipped creature has pay 2. This creature deals 1 damage to target creature. If it's colorless creature, it deals damage. This way, tap it. So it could be really cool against that artifact deck. It does have equip 2. It does have that factor where it costs 1 and equip 2, which is pretty standard. And it's actually not too bad if you don't mind doing one just picking away at your opponent. So let's move on to number 6. We have Arrow Volley Trap from Dual Decks, Speed versus Cunning, or Zendikar. It's an uncommon going for about 10 cents on the market. It costs 5 mana for this instant trap. It's a very unique ability that doesn't really exist nowadays. If 4 or more creatures are attacking, you may pay 2 rather than pay its mana cost, which is very cool. I like that. It deals 5 damage divided as choose among number of target attacking creatures. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but it is a really cool ability because of that, and that's why it's here. But let's move on to number 5. With Arrow Storm halfway down our list. It's from Mystery Booster or Cons of Takur. It's a common just going, that's right, 4 cents on the market. But the reason why it's at number 5 is because it says to target creature or player. And I really like that ability of targeting an opponent and not just creatures, and this is why it's at number 5. It does have raid, where it says if you attacked with a creature with this turn, instead it deals 5 damage to that creature or player, and that damage can't prevent it. So that's even an additional point, but it does cause 5. That is the payback. So let's move on to number 4. Next one is Vivian's Jaguar from Core Set 2019. It's an uncommon just going for 22 cents on the market. Basically, on the bottom it says each of Vivian's arrows is an invocation of species. So she's shooting an arrow that looks like a jaguar, and it's 3 for a 3/2 reach, which is very helpful. And then you can return it from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this only if you control Vivian Planeswalker. Well, that's a cool, interesting combination. That's why it's number 4. You could possibly bring it back over and over again, and it's a cat spirit with reach, so at least it doesn't have defender. So let's move on to number 3. We have Boring 100,000 Arrows. I don't know why I like this card. I actually kind of like it. It says it's from various sets. It's uncommon. And then finally moved on to a common with an average price of 21 cents on market. Costs 3 mana, which is a sorcery on top of that. It says draw a card for each tapped creature target opponent controls. It can be effective depending on how you build your deck, so this card can be very helpful. But when it comes to top 10 arrow, I believe this to be a very powerful card. So let's move on to number 2. Well, if you don't mind reading the card, is Serrated Arrows. It's from various sets. It's a common, that's right, 27 cents on the market. When it enters the battlefield, it has 3 arrowhead counters. It does cost 4. At the beginning of your if there are no arrow counters, destroy it, which is pretty typical. And then remove the counter from a target. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. That can be very versatile about putting out counters, not destroying them, and kind of affect how the whole gameplay works. And when it comes to the top 10 arrows, this is actually a very, very powerful card. But let's move on to number 1. which we have is Poison Arrow. It's from Portal 3 Kingdoms. And as you guys know, I very, very rarely put any like Portal or Portal 3 Kingdoms, like anything that's like unhinged, anything that's outside. But this one I just had to put in because the value of it. It's an uncommon going for just almost $11. It costs 6 mana. It says destroy any one creature that isn't black. You gain 3 life. So that is very cool. Again, totally useless if you're playing against a black deck. But I just thought from an arrow point, this is an amazing card and deserves to be on the top 10 list, even though it is from the Portal series. So I hope you enjoyed the video and you guys have a good day and a good evening.